𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃 here. This is a more recent 𝙎𝙈𝙃. I say that to say, maybe you guessed it, maybe you didn't, but the audio clip that you're going to hear for this entire video is going to be me from approximately a year ago. Now, I don't think I sound too bad here. That's the reason why I decided to finally turn this into a movie for you guys. I actually think that's a pretty good video. I liked it, and I hope that you guys enjoy it too. This is, well, technically speaking, current 𝙎𝙈𝙃, and you guys are going to listen to past 𝙎𝙈𝙃. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.
𝙎𝙈𝙃, back with another video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're new to the channel and, well, just haven't subscribed. With that being said, please support the affiliate links down below and check out my second channel. With that being said, let's get into the video. So the backstory for this what if is what I think most of you would want to know. Well, first off, I just want to state that I've been wanting to do this what if for a little bit, maybe a month by now. As I saw this, well, idea, so to speak, it was very intriguing. I was very happy to do it, so to speak. With that being said, I think this will be a great what if, and I plan on finishing it within maybe 10 parts, give or take, as I think that's a pretty good, amount of time, so to speak. As, well, that just makes sense for me to do. I usually end my parts in 10 parts, anywhere from 6 to 10 parts. With that being said, let's get into the video. The Susano. Well, for starters, the Susano is a gigantic humanoid avatar made of the user's chakra, which surrounds them and fights on their behalf. It is the strongest ability available to those who have awakened the 𝙎𝙈𝙄𝙈 Sharingan in both eyes, at least physically, as we do know things like Koto and Matsukami do have some edges, so to speak. But yeah, with that being said, today we will be discussing if Naruto had it. And now you may be asking yourself, how does Naruto get an ability such as this? Well, pretty simple, and so this ability is going to be a 𝘾𝙍𝙈𝙃 of Naruto's. I basically just decided to make it this. This is just the most easy way I could do it. Of course, I could also go the Sharingan route, but I feel like giving Naruto the 𝙎𝙈𝙄𝙈 would also lead into many other abilities, and would just get a bit complicated from there. Also, some other people could have their, critiques on it, and now Naruto shouldn't be able to get the 𝙎𝙈𝙄𝙈 so quickly and things of the sort, so I just decided to go the Namikaze clan route. By that, I just mean that Naruto is inheriting this 𝘾𝙍𝙈 from the Namikaze. This also means that Minato is going to be a lot stronger, since Minato himself is a Namikaze. And, yet again, this also means that the Namikaze clan is going to be more renowned throughout all of the Great Nations. Basically, they're going to be known as a cousin clan to the Uchiha. This does not mean that Naruto does not have the Sharingan, but it also doesn't mean that he does. Of course, there is the possibility, as I've made the Namikaze and Uchiha clan like cousin clans, similar to how the Uzumaki and Senju are, but much closer, as if you're an Uzumaki, you just don't inherently get the traits of wood style, but we even know some Senjus can't. Well, most Senjus can. With that being said, Naruto will be very powerful here, and I think now we can fully get into the what if with the backstory of what the Susano is going to be like. Also, I want to state this Susano is going to act similar to like a guardian at first, and you guys will see how that kind of affects the story and how Naruto is able to use it, or maybe how he first awakens the 𝘾𝙍𝙈𝙃. And some of you may be asking why Minato is still dead, because he is going to be dead. Also, Naruto does have the Nine Tails. Well, for that very reason, he sealed the Nine Tails within Naruto, and also he was able to defeat the Nine Tails much easier in this timeline due to his Susano. With that being said, let's begin. Naruto at this point would be in a clash with Haku. Sasuke stood beside him as he fought valiantly to, well, defeat the opponent in front of him. But, like we know in the canon, he was too late. Or you could even say he was too hurt, too beaten up. Needles were all throughout his body, as Sasuke would basically intercept Haku's attack, causing him to fall to the ground. This would cause Naruto to, well, rage, you could say, spurg out even. But with that being said, Naruto would stay calm. Throughout his years of life, this Naruto has learned that even in the most rash and harsh situations, he should always stay calm. He learned this long ago from a teacher who, at this point, I will not name. With that being said, Naruto would call upon something as he would roar. But this was not a roar of, well, a battle cry, so to speak. Nor was it a roar of pain, like a "gah," so to speak. But rather, it was a roar that called upon a being so high, so mighty in stature, that it could even dwarf a building. With that being said, this being, or should I say this thing, this monstrous attacker, guardian of sorts, is known as the Susano. Naruto would call it forth, as the Susano would glide past Kakashi and Zabuza's fight, causing both of them to stare into the abyss, so to speak, or stare into the dawn of the Susano. Basically, they were looking towards the Susano as they would stop what they were doing. The same goes for Sorcery, my bad, I was about to say Sorcery, my apologies, Sakura, sometimes I just forget about uselessness. With that being said, Sakura, as well as Tazano, would also stop what they were doing and would look at the Susano. This Susano was golden in shape, a yellowish golden to be more exact. Now, with that being said, the Susano would utterly annihilate the ice mirrors with only one jab of his blade, and this was it going easy. With that being said, Naruto would then be encased in the Susano, as the Susano would speak. Now, we never see Susanos actually speaking. That's why I was a bit conflicted when making this title. I was conflicted in the fact that I was thinking, well, do I want to make the title What If Naruto had the Ultimate Susano, since the Susano is, in my opinion, a lot better? Or should I make this just What If Naruto had the Susano? I decided I wanted Naruto had the Susano, but since this is not the actual Uchiha's Susano, it is a little different, and it can talk. It can speak fluent English, as English is the main language, the only language basically that we see in Naruto. So yeah, not only that, but it is very skilled. It can act on its own. It has a mind of its own, but it obeys Naruto at any point. Naruto can also shrink it down a size, as at this point, it's kind of big, but not too big. Basically, it looks like how Sasuke's did when there was like that skull, not that much body, like a rib cage, stuff like that, but it's not like huge. It's just kind of like a body of chakra. With that being said, Naruto would use the Susanoo to its complete power. He would utilize it in a way that had never been seen before, as he would tell the Susanoo to destroy what was in front of him. His eyes were now red with the power of the Kyuubi. As the Susanoo would tell Naruto to calm down, Naruto would shake his head. No, Kabuto, you will listen to me. That man in front of me, he killed my friend. Kabuto, the name of the Susanoo, if you did not catch that, Kabuto is its name, would then listen to Naruto, pulling its blade forward as it holds a jabbing-like blade, similar to Shisui's, as it would then pierce right through Haku. This would cause Haku's mask to break, and it would also basically destroy all of Haku's clothing. Of course, he would not be naked here. That's just not gonna happen. But with that being said, his kimono would be ripped to shreds, and his mask would also be pierced, as the sheer force and burst of energy emitted off of the Susanoo was enough to do so. With that being said, Naruto would recognize Haku, as he would immediately command his Susanoo to stop, or Kabuto, I should say. With that being said, Kabuto would stop, as Naruto would be thankful that he had such control over a being so powerful. Naruto would then ask why Haku did what he did, why he would betray the village, as Haku, would give them a little bit of an answer. Now, with that being said, I think all of you guys heard me right. Why would he betray the village? Now, with that being said, let me provide some context. when Naruto and Haku fight here, it is on a bit of different terms. Same thing with Zabuza and, well, Haku. With that being said, Zabuza and Haku pretended as if they were, I guess you could say, people who needed help, who needed salvation and asylum within the Leaf Village. They basically pretended enough to where they were able to rise to the ranks, and both Haku and Zabuza have ascended past the rank of Chunin and become a special Jonin. With that being said, that is due to the fact that they are, well, special. Zabuza is special because, well, he holds one of the 7 Ninja Swordsman's blades, and he is one of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen, or former, I should say. And Haku is special because of, well, his ice release Kekkei Genkai. With that being said, Naruto, Haku, and Zabuza, as well as, well, just the rest of Team 7, had actually formed a bond with them, and this mission that they were going on was actually just to defeat a few bandits from the village, you know, and, like, build the bridge and stuff. But with that being said, Zabuza and Haku tagged along, as they had kind of formed a big squad of, like, Haku, Kakashi, Zabuza, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto, of 6 people, basically. And with that being said, Zabuza and Haku were now turning on Team 7 so that they could, well, collect Kakashi's bounty that was in the bingo books, and also get a lot of money from Gato, which would help Zabuza further his own dream. Of course, Zabuza and Haku, well, started to take a liking to Naruto and the rest of Team 7, but unfortunately, it just, well, didn't work out, so to speak. With that being said, that's why Naruto would immediately pull back. Not because he had met Haku before, because they were genuinely friends. Haku would then answer Naruto's question, as he would basically explain that Zabuza's ambitions are greater than any friendship that he would have, as he is merely just a tool for Zabuza to use. Just like in the canon, this would piss Naruto off, as rather than finishing off Haku, he would immediately blitz him, pushing him down to the ground. Now, since he doesn't even have his kimono on, well, let's just say Haku's back would hurt, as there were many rocks beneath him. If you know or don't know, sometimes when you just, accidentally fall on a rock with your hands are pretty hurt. Maybe scratched up, maybe tattered, many things, cut, things of the sort. But since it's just his bare back, so to speak, he would be very, very hurt, or very, very injured. He basically couldn't move at the moment. As Naruto pushed him down with such force, Haku was, well, surprised. Haku was also surprised at the Susano. How did Naruto have so much strength, she thought? And in this form, was he, like, boosted in power? Because, well, she had never seen such, well, strength from Naruto. Now, with that being said, Naruto would look at Haku, as he immediately knew what to do. His goal was no longer fighting Haku, but rather fighting Zabuza. Naruto would then snap his fingers, as the Susano would shrink, shrinking down to his body's size. Basically, if you want to envision it within your head, as there is, well, a fight clip from a modded Naruto Shippuden Storm game playing, so you can't really just envision it from what's on screen. But if you want to envision it in your head, think of it as Naruto now having a goldenish yellow aura all over his body. That's basically what's happening here. Kind of looks like KCM, but it doesn't at all. It's kind of just around his body rather than all over his body. With that being said, Naruto would rush towards Zabuza, as Zabuza and Kakashi would be, at this moment, clashing sword to kunai. With that being said, Naruto would punch Zabuza with a left hit, or punch/hook, in basically his jaw, which would actually cause his jaw to be dislodged and would send Zabuza flying far beyond, well, you could even say, the Land of Waves village. And maybe this gives you a real, I guess you could say, gauge of how, first off, how powerful Naruto is, but second of all, how strong his punches are. Naruto would then look at his opponent, Zabuza. It seemed that even though they were so far apart, Naruto had the ability to see him. Did Naruto's Susano grant him enhanced sight? Naruto would then fly over to Zabuza as his Susano would gain wings, or wings of chakra, I should say, not physical wings. With that being said, Naruto would land right beside Zabuza as he would kick Zabuza up into the sky. Kakashi, Tazuna, and Sakura all watched this as they were dumbfounded by Naruto's strength. Naruto then flew into the air as he would unsheath a blade that he kept on him at all times. He would then tell the Susano to let him control his power, as the Susano would nod its head within Naruto's psyche, as at times it can appear there, as well as in its physical form. This is also a disturbance to the Nine Tails, which kind of causes it to, let's just say, not be as hostile. With that being said, Naruto would hold his Susanoo's blade in his left hand, and his own blade in his right, as he would then have an angry look on his face, looking dead in Zabuza's eyes as Zabuza glided throughout the air, crashing into tree after tree, and bird after bird even, as there were many birds flying in the sky on this fateful day. With that being said, Naruto would then tell Zabuza that it's over, that he will kill him. Zabuza looked at Naruto as he would pull his broken, I guess you could say, sword, so to speak, or blade, whatever you want to call it, as at this point Naruto has even broken his blade, as he would then tell Naruto to come at him. His blade now stood in front of his chest, as he would tell Naruto that if he has the guts to kill him, then he should do it now. With that being said, Naruto would continue rushing forward, as the air around him would basically make his hair look, I guess you could say, crazy, so to speak. It was all over the place. With that being said, Naruto would rush past Zabuza, as Zabuza's body would fall to the ground. His sword had been cut into about 1,000 pieces, and his body had been, well, let's just say, beaten. With that being said, Zabuza would cough up blood as he fell into the ground, at high speeds at that, hitting the ground a massive dust explosion of sorts, so a dust cloud, you could call it, would appear as the force that Naruto sent Zabuza at was strong enough to do so, as there was a bit of a rocky-like substance, slash muddy, slash whatever you want to call it, on the ground. It mud-hardened, so to speak. That's why, well, there were so many rocks under Haku's back, right? With that being said, Naruto would then fly to the ground as well. Zabuza then looked at Naruto. He was almost unconscious, as Zabuza's eyes would then roll into the back of his head, with a smile on his face. Naruto would then look at Zabuza, as he knew that he was still alive. He knew that he was still breathing. He could hear it. Did Naruto's Susano also grant him advanced hearing? Naruto would then ask Zabuza, even though that it was to advance his own goal, why would he betray the village that he swore to protect? Why would he betray the people who he fought with at almost all times, to be honest? And Zabuza gave one response. This response was that of a, well, shaky one at that. As at this point, Zabuza's body is, let's just say, completely broken. I've said that before, but I don't want to get too graphic. Zabuza is beaten, he's bruised, he's bloody, he's cut, stabbed. You guys get the point. With that being said, Zabuza would give his response. Naruto, no doubt you are a great shinobi, but never did I think that you had such a power within you. This chakra armor, this thing you called upon, no, this power you have, it's insane. But I will give you an honest answer. That's because my rage, my infuriation, and my despair, well, it lies somewhere else. I have things that I hate and things that I love. We all do. What's your point, Zabuza? And so, what happens when your very own Kage makes you into a monster? If you don't know, I'm originally from the mist. I knew that, 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃. But maybe you just forgot. Seeing that you're in this state, it's laughable. No, Naruto, hear me out. My Kage at that time, Yagura Karatachi, he destroyed my will. He destroyed your will? What did he do to you, so to speak? No, what did he do to you entirely? I want to know. Justify yourself, 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃. Tell me what it was, and just maybe I will spare you. Forgive you for what you have done to me. No, forgive you for what you have done to us. He made me kill all of my academy classmates. Not only that, but sent me on fierce missions. A duty of mine, but nonetheless they were fierce. But at the end of the day, he was a tyrannical leader and led my own family into despair. If you didn't know, my own brother was in that academy. So you can see how I felt when I had to kill him myself. Naruto would be conflicted. He did not have an answer until his Susano would speak within his consciousness. If you were to forgive somebody like 𝙎𝙈𝙃, think about what that would make you. You would become a monster, something of despair, just like him. Look at how far he has fallen. Somebody who you trusted, Naruto. I knew that he was fishy when I saw him. Ice release. That hasn't been around for centuries. At least after they were wiped out. And the next thing that was odd was that he was once a member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Why would he ally himself with such a village like ours without, well, proper reason? Of course, the reason he gave us was that he was seeking salvation. But we believed that crap, and it ended up with this. This is what happens when you fight, Naruto. You must end all fights. Naruto's Susano would then act on its own, as I did explain that it has a mind of its own, and, well, a body of its own even. As Naruto would watch as his Susano would creep out of his body. I haven't watched the JoJo's, but I know from former comments that, well, let's just say stands do something a little similar, where they can come out of your body, or I don't really know the concept too well, but some of you JoJo fans out there may know. With that being said, his Susano would creep out of his body, as it would then form into its own being. 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃, we have never met before, the Susano would say. What in the hell is this? 𝙎𝙈𝙃's eyes would roll back into their proper location as he would basically look at the Susano confused. I thought that you had control of it. But rather it's something that has a mind of its own. What in the hell? Now, unfortunately, I have to kill you, but I will tell you this. You are powerful, but not powerful enough. Naruto would tell the Susano no as he would shake his head. Naruto, I explained to you what, well, let's just say, keeping people like this alive could do. I explained how you trusted a man as vile as this, and I explained how you will become that despair if you spare him. So you want me to just kill him outright? This is the battlefield. The Susano would then launch himself towards 𝙎𝙈𝙃, as 𝙎𝙈𝙃 would accept his fate, grabbing tightly onto his blade as he readied for the pain. 𝙎𝙈𝙃 would grit his teeth as he had thought that he had just been stabbed, but rather Naruto stood in front of him. Stop it now! Stop it now, Susano! Or should I say Kabuto? I restrain you from ever coming out of me again. Kabuto would look at Naruto, as he had no words. Kabuto would immediately creep back into Naruto's body, as 𝙎𝙈𝙃 would be dumbfounded, just as, well, let's just say Team 7 had been when seeing the Susano. This time he was dumbfounded at how Naruto sacrificed himself for him. realizing that Naruto truly was his friend, realizing that even though he had his own ambition, even though he had his own dream, his own goals, and his own, well, to keep it simple, desires, that he could have friends, that he could trust the Leaf Village, and that maybe even his relationship with Naruto could be cured. He and Naruto could establish a stronger bond even. Just maybe. This was a thought that creeped into 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃's head. A brief one, but still a thought at that. With that being said, Naruto would tell 𝙎𝙈𝙊 that even though he wanted to kill him, he's decided not to, as he has shed his own blood as well. His own blood, his own sweat, and even his own tears. At this point, 𝙎𝙈𝙊 would be conflicted to not change. He kind of was forced into a situation where he had to change. He would be an evil, maniacal person, just like his former Kage, if he were to, well, let's just say, not change. With that being said, he would lie there on the ground defeated, as he would tell Naruto that he apologizes sincerely, and that he hopes to become friends again with, well, what he would name as Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke, as well as Naruto himself. Naruto would look back at 𝙎𝙈𝙊 as he would smile. Well, I guess you'll just have to show your friendship with us, as you'll be staying here. What? 𝙎𝙈𝙊 thought to himself. What are you talking about, Naruto? 𝙎𝙈𝙊 would ask. Simple. You betrayed us, so you're gonna have to do me a favor. Okay, what is it? You're gonna govern over this village. That will help us and the village create relations, which will also prove that you are willing to work with us. Again, it will prove that you care about our village by strengthening the bond between us. I've heard they have some pretty good shrimp here, as well as the fact that they have their own trading system. So, when this bridge gets finished, which it is about 80% done, well, let's just say, us and the Leaf, and them, the Land of Waves. So, we could have trade. We could establish a great amount of prosperity between our villages together. And you, my friend, you will be the Kage of this village. Establish a ninja system. And by, well, let's just say 4 years, give or take, I'll come back here. And the military might that you've established, well, it can be under the Leaf as well. Well, I guess that's not so bad after all. With that being said, 𝙎𝙈𝙊, Haku will also be staying here. He can be your Kage guard even if you want. But us as Team 7 will leave, only to return in 4 years. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, Naruto. Naruto would walk off as eventually the events of the canon would basically happen as they would heal up and leave, saying farewell to Haku and 𝙎𝙈𝙊 as they had actually forgiven them. Though Tazuna, of course, hadn't really, but Tazuna isn't necessarily Team 7, he's just somebody who's there. With that being said, we're going to end the part off with Naruto still training with Jiraiya, but also being skilled enough to where he already knows chakra control, he can already walk on water, he's fine in that department. He gets the summoning jutsu down in 3 tries this time, and it actually means that he's able to actually start learning the Rasengan in like the 2-week period from the Land of Waves to the Chunin exams, and so he's going to come in a lot stronger. With that being said, we're also going to have the events that can roll out, though I do want Naruto to have a better score in the written exams, where he's actually going to get a 9 this time. And with that being said, we're going to end the part off with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura rushing through the forest of death. With that being said, this has been 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃, and 𝙎𝙈𝙃, oh. 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃 back in the video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you supported the links affiliated down below. With that being said, we can now get into the recap. In the last part, we basically ended off with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura traveling through the forest of death. But with that being said, a little bit before that, Naruto had kind of just, well, to be frank, disconnected from the Susano. Basically, the Susano wanted to use its better judgment to basically just finish off 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃 right there and then. And honestly, it was genuine better judgment in my opinion. You know, the Susano was trying to look out for his master slash companion, whatever you want to call their relationship, so to speak. But with that being said, Naruto would actually get in the way of the Susano's attack. Also, the Susano's name is Kabuto, or Kabuto's attack, whatever you want to call it. But with that being said, after that, he basically said that he never wants help from the Susano, because in that vital moment, the Susano did not listen to him and had his own, you know, will, so to speak, even though he's supposed to listen to Naruto. Now, with that being said, Naruto would encounter Orochimaru. Here we would see the events of the canon roll out as Sasuke would still be bit by Orochimaru. Not only that, but Naruto would still go berserk, so to speak, as this time he would rely on the Nine Tails. And the Nine Tails gave him a lot more chakra, about 2 tails this time. And maybe or maybe not, you can see how much stronger this Naruto is going to be against Orochimaru. And honestly, he's actually kind of beating him in this fight. Why, you may be asking, he gave Naruto so much more chakra, about 2 tails more, or like 1.5 tails more, however much you think the 𝘾𝙍𝙈𝙊𝙃 is. Anyhow, with that being said, it's pretty simple. Due to the fact that Naruto never, like ever, has to rely on, you know, the Kyuubi's chakra, it kind of just has been there and hasn't been able to push its chakra through the seal to try and weaken it. That's why Naruto's seal starts to get weakened over time. But with that being said, so he's just pushing out all of his chakra that was built up, all of his frustration with the Susano, and he's kind of just trying to capitalize off of Naruto distancing himself from the Susano. Now, with that being said, Naruto would actually start to put a lot of pressure on Orochimaru, as Orochimaru would be hit after hit after hit. With that being said, eventually Orochimaru would try to retaliate, as Naruto would eventually roar at Orochimaru. This roar wouldn't do too much, but it would burst Orochimaru's eardrums due to the fact that they were so close to each other. Not only that, but then he would send a shockwave towards Orochimaru, which Orochimaru would use a mud-like substitution jutsu. We saw this when Sasuke used a fireball on Orochimaru, and then he quickly kind of became like mucky and mud. With that being said, that would be used here as well, as eventually Naruto would realize that, well, he can only fight for so long, and the same thing with Orochimaru. So rather than continuing to fight Orochimaru, who he still doesn't know if he is an actual, you know, like person who's in the exams or whatnot, he would rather try to, you know, escape. So that's what they'd be doing. They'd rush out of the forest and they'd go very, very, very quickly, as, well, to not be seen, so to speak, or so that nobody really catches on to them. Now, with that being said, Naruto would stop at the, I guess you could say, exit to the Forest of Death, as there was a certain someone there. His name is 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃. Now, you may be asking, how is Naruto so quick? Well, he still has the 9 tails, his 2 tails amp, and basically he's with the rest of his team since he's just been, like, holding them, if that makes sense. Not like holding like in his hands, but like his right hand's like holding like Sasuke's arm, and like his left hand's holding like Sakura's arm, and he's able to just like pull them, if that makes sense. But with that being said, both Gaara and Naruto would have an interaction, because Naruto was able to basically, I guess you could just say, get out quicker than Gaara, so he was able to beat Gaara. But as we do know, there are, like, I guess you could say, people waiting, or people, like, watching. So this fight was actually being watched by a few, like, Chunin from the Leaf Village. as we did see that there are like cameras. Now, with that being said, Gaara and Naruto would have a fight. Gaara now immediately hated Naruto. Nobody has the right to challenge his existence in his mind. This was just the mindset that he had. With that being said, Naruto would be that challenger. Naruto challenged his ideals. Naruto challenged his presence, his aura, and was not scared before him. With that being said, Gaara would be bombarded with attack after attack. Naruto still had that power of the Kyuubi, rushing and bursting through him as he would continue to hit Gaara. Eventually, Naruto would start to become more composed as he would grab onto his sword, unleashing the Kyuubi's wrath on it as well, as he would then yell out, "Divine Retribution." This attack was interesting to Gaara. Retribution, he wondered what Naruto meant. Divine. He would then ask if Naruto was claiming to be a god, as Naruto would shake his head. "Never did I assert that I was, though I will tell you here that you will feel unimaginable pain. When I hit you before, you were able to regenerate, so to speak, but it almost felt like I was chipping away at something. So, if my theory is correct, if I hit you with a full power attack, that armor or whatever defense you have should at least break. But I shouldn't kill you. Something else, like your true form or self or just your real body should be underneath, shouldn't it?" Gaara's jaw would drop, if only for a few seconds, as he was surprised that Naruto was so smart, so, I guess you could say, tactically smart, powerful, strong. But with that being said, Naruto would then cut Gaara. But just like Naruto had predicted, Gaara had his sand armor. He didn't know that it was actually sand armor, but he realized that Gaara was still alive, basically. As he would then tell Gaara that he does not wish to fight him, merely he wishes to become a Chunin. Gaara would wonder how somebody like Naruto was so strong, as Naruto and Gaara would now have a full-on conversation. "Are you mocking my existence?" Naruto would shake his head no. "Never would I do that, red-haired boy. My name is Gaara of the Sand. You will address me how I see it fit. Now, sand bullets." Gaara would then send forth multiple sand bullets towards Naruto, as Naruto would dodge most of them, telling Gaara that there is no need to fight. The Chunin who were watching the fight would wonder if they should, go down and attack Gaara, or go down and subdue Gaara and Naruto even, as they would decide against it, as from what they were seeing, this fight was not one that you could easily break up. Now, with that being said, Naruto would continue to talk. "They say that in each village there is somebody known as a Jinchuriki, the ones who possess the tailed beast." This shocked Gaara. What was this boy with blonde hair and blue eyes and a fighting spirit that he had never seen before alluding to? What was he trying to say? As Naruto would continue. "And since you're from the sand, you possess the sand around you as well. At least that's what I'm assuming. Also, your two comrades, the one who's clearly a puppet master, and the other who wields a weapon, most likely tied to wind or fire release. They both have the sand headbands. So would it be, well, let's just say, not too far-fetched for me to imagine that either the puppeteer, the girl who wields a weapon that either releases wind or fire, or you is the Jinchuriki of the sand? Because it seems to be a logical conclusion that one would, well, start to imagine, especially if they knew the origins of the tailed beast." "Are you saying that you possess a tailed beast?" "No, I never even hinted at it. But let me ask you something. Since you don't look how I thought tailed beast looked like when they used their tailed beast as power, what do you think they should look like?" An ominous red aura such as mine. Gaara's eyes would widen, as they would not change. Similar to before, that was a little bit of a foreshadowing on my part. I don't know if you caught that. But before, Gaara's jaw had dropped, but then he quickly, moved his jaw. But this time, his eyes have just been staying widened. Not something key, but, it's still something. With that being said, Naruto would then smirk. That's why I've been holding back. I first wanted to know if you were a Jinchuriki. Now, I say holding back, and I hope you guys understood that Naruto was holding back and was able to, deal with Gaara relatively easily, because he's actually about to, one-shot Gaara. Spoiler alert. With that being said, Naruto would then pull back a fist, as he would tell Gaara that at this current moment, he's accessed 2 tails of his tailed beast's power. Whether or not the tailed beast did it on purpose, or Naruto had to siphon it off himself, it is 2 tails. With that being said, Naruto would quickly blitz Gaara, appearing in front of him before he could even react, as he would punch Gaara through the building that they were in and out as far as even to the main central Leaf Village, the heart of the Leaf Village. That's how massive this punch was. That's how strong this punch was. If that makes sense. With that being said, Naruto would then tell his team that it's time to go, as the Chunin who were watching would applaud Naruto through the camera, as they would not be able to actually communicate with Naruto, but they were happy that Naruto had won the duel, especially since it looked to be like a life or death battle, and Naruto was, a Leaf Shinobi, though they were a little scared by the chakra that was coming off of Naruto that almost looked demonic, so to speak. With that being said, the preliminaries in this timeline are going to go about the same. Ino's not beating Sakura. Sakura's not really beating, Ino. But now that I think about it, Sakura may beat Ino in his timeline. If not, you remember in the first part, which, was just a part ago, I mentioned that Haku, Zabuza, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto formed a squad, which, was a pretty decent squad, so to speak, which, like I said before, included Kakashi, Sasuke, Sakura, Haku, and Naruto. And so I was thinking, they had trained together, right? Maybe this is just off the top of my head, but I feel like Sakura will win here. And that's not to, be mean to anybody who likes Ino as a character, but Ino's just kind of weak here, at least compared to Sakura, who has been training with top dogs like Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Haku, like I already explained, so to speak. With that being said, it's not going to be an easy fight. It's actually going to be high def. But we actually did even see Sakura have a superior will, being able to break Ino's mind transfer jutsu. But yeah, so she's going to win the preliminaries. But after that, she's not progressing anymore. She's getting slapped, so to speak. But there are 2 fights that I do think are going to change here. Both the Neji versus Naruto fight and the Sasuke versus Gaara fight. Now, some of you may be wondering, why would these fights change? Well, pretty simple. Both Naruto and Sasuke are much stronger. But the Naruto versus Naruto versus Neji, my bad, fight is not going to change that much. It's not going to change that drastically. Just Naruto, rather than, surprise attacking Neji, is actually just going to beat him, and also without the Kyuubi's chakra. That's how powerful this Naruto is, currently at least. And Sasuke would have relatively the same fight with Gaara, though he would finish it off much quicker, as he has much more chakra and can do things much quicker. He can perform jutsu signs much quicker, and things of the sort. With that being said, we would then see the Feather Illusion Jutsu cast on the arena or on the Chunin exams, as everybody would just start to pass out, similar to somebody from One Piece and their Conqueror's Haki. I made that reference, but maybe it's just me, but One Piece is my favorite anime. Personal opinion, no disrespect to anybody else. This video isn't about that. But with that being said, a team would still, I guess you could say, be formed. But since that original team was formed to go after Gaara and their Sand Trio, Rather than that, this team would be formed to save Hiruzen, as they would realize that, well, Hiruzen was like being trapped by Orochimaru and stuff. So basically, this team would take on the Sound Four, and most of the matches would actually be the people who were originally taking on the Sound Four, which is quite interesting now that I think about it. With that being said, again though, Naruto is much more powerful here. So he's actually able to get through the ray barrier, and he's much faster, so he's able to do it before all the others. And basically, he's the only one who's actually able to get through, as well as Sasuke. Sasuke and Naruto would hide, though. They did not know what was happening, and at this current moment, Hashirama had just launched like a massive wood-style jutsu, with Tobirama launching like a water-style jutsu. As that's how far this fight has already, I guess you could say, happened, or how far it already is along in the timeline, if you will. But with that being said, Naruto and Sasuke would eventually attack Orochimaru when they saw Hiruzen being pressed by both Tobirama and Hashirama. First off, Sasuke would be taking on Tobirama, and, well, Naruto would be taking on Hashirama, which is kind of interesting because, well, Tobirama hates Uchihas, and Hashirama loves them. Interesting, like I said before. And, they kind of both hate Uchihas because, well, Sasuke hates Itachi, and Naruto, well, kind of likes Uchihas, you could say, because, well, Naruto likes Sasuke. Not like that, but, like, they're friends, if you know what I mean. With that being said, Naruto and Sasuke would actually do quite well here. I do see Naruto being able to take on his fight much easier, especially with the aided help of the Nine Tails, as you'll notice a recurring theme here, that the Nine Tails is giving Naruto, like, a lot of chakra. Like I said before, that's because he's trying to weaken the seal, and it's been so long, he's, like, never been able to actually push anything out. He didn't get out versus Haku, and stuff like that, right? He wasn't even able to get out versus Neji. With that being said, Naruto would defeat Hiruzen and would eventually, or not Hiruzen, my bad, I don't know. Yeah, I need some more sleep. But with that being said, he would defeat Hashirama and would then aid Sasuke in defeating Tobirama. This would cause it to then be a 3v1, right? So basically, Hiruzen, Naruto, who I'd consider Kage level at this point, like, honestly, he defeated Gaara. That's just, you know, easy Kage level. At least low Kage level, maybe mid. But with that being said, also Sasuke, who I'd say is, like, maybe mid to high Chunin level, as he was able to break Gaara's defenses and things of the sort. Those defenses were already innately weakened due to his fight with Naruto. But he did in the canon too, so take that as you will. With that being said, we would then have Orochimaru defeated. I just don't see any way that Orochimaru was still, like, winning this. It just doesn't really come across to me like that, like how he's even gonna stand a chance, right? So basically, after this, eventually the Leaf would kind of be able to, I guess you could say, repiece itself together, just like it had in canon, but much faster. The Hokage is not dead in this timeline, so it kind of creates a alternate timeline where the Leaf is much stronger and is able to heal quicker, so to speak. The Sand and the Leaf would recreate bonds, as Naruto in this timeline had kind of taught no jutsu to Gaara. And I say this in a way where Gaara hadn't been actually taught no jutsu, but where, like, he's, like, basically defeated and Naruto's talking to him. Rather, they had a actual conversation where Naruto would basically straighten out Gaara, so to speak. But even though, even if they didn't, like, have this conversation, I still think Gaara would be good again, due to the fact that Naruto just kind of wrecked him, and he suffered a semi-loss against Sasuke. Like, he's just been getting defeated after defeat, so he realizes that he's just not this, like, monster of power. Not everybody just tries to kill you. They will spare you sometimes. You should spare other people, that kind of thing. And he kind of creates his own ninja way, so to speak. But Naruto basically heavily influenced that will / ninja way / whatever you want to call it. With that being said, I think this may be where I'm going to end off the part. This is about part 2 of What is Naruto the Susano. Please check out the affiliated links down below. And with that being said, 𝘎𝙈𝙊𝙃, back in a video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and it would also be appreciated if you share the video to a friend like this, or just anime content in general. With that being said, I do have a second channel in which I do post certain what if topics, as well as mostly discussion videos though, so, well, hop on there and check it out. Please support the affiliate links down below, and we can now get into the recap. With that being said, we basically ended off with Gaara actually kind of becoming good, just like he had in canon. But with that being said, the Leaf is much stronger. Coming out of the, I guess you could say, in a way, the plan to eradicate the Leaf Village, or Orochimaru's plan that is, the Leaf is just much stronger overall, and they have like a lot more power in general due to the fact that Hiruzen is still alive. And in pretty good condition. Like, he's not like on the verge of death basically in the hospital chilling. Nah, he's like basically 100% for an old Hiruzen, as 100% as an old 60+ man can be. With that being said, yeah. Now, Naruto at this point would go on a mission of his own will, something that he wanted to do for a very long time, solo. A mission he wanted to take solo. Hiruzen had no objections to this. Naruto was strong enough to definitely go on a mission that is only a B rank with ease, and maybe even an A or S rank if he's pushing it. With that being said, Naruto would travel to a place that was known as one word, Mount. But the people who lived here called it a certain name, Mount Onoki. Within, well, I guess you could say the mountain, since I'd assume you guys know that I mean a mountain when I say mount. There is a huge, gigantic hole. Within this hole is where the people live, and, well, they do things within that hole. It's such a massive hole where a whole town is, and, frankly, a whole individual village, you could even say. With that being said, it's known as Mount Onoki because it is stated that a young Onoki had actually destroyed this said mountain. This isn't actually a thing in the Naruto canon. I just decided to come up with this on the top of my head, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you won't, or you shouldn't at least find anything regarding this topic. With that being said, Naruto would travel here to fight. He knew that their ninja were very powerful and were, well, hailed as the strongest who weren't, like, affiliated with, you know, the Great Five Nations, or the Five Great Nations, whatever you want to call them. Or even the Five Great Powers, the Leaf, the Stone, the Cloud, the Mist. I think you guys get my point. With that being said, and of course the Sand, with that being said, we would see Naruto fight these ninja. But upon his arrival, he was actually seen as an enemy. He was seen as somebody who was trying to provoke war. And the usually calm and, well, you could even say peaceful village was now agitated. It had seemed that Naruto was outnumbered. Rather than their ninja just being skilled, their whole village was skilled. Even those who didn't have great chakra control, if any at all, were able to wield weapons as if they had mastered them their whole lives, as if they had been swordsmen throughout their lives. With that being said, Naruto would rush out of the village as he would be stopped by a farmer who, well, for some odd reason, was carrying a farming-like tool which would then turn into a scythe. This farmer would then try to slice Naruto as Naruto would dodge, but behind him stood a man, much taller than he. He would then look this man in the eyes, as the man would look at Naruto, realizing that Naruto was not weak-willed. He was not some newbie who came to the village for, well, you know, to prove themselves. But with that being said, this ninja did not know what Naruto was there for. And in a way, Naruto himself was actually kind of there to prove himself. To, I guess you could say, reassure himself that he was powerful without the need for the Susano. That, well, he would never need the Susano in actuality, because within him lurked another monster. A monster just as ferocious as his own Susano. Its name was Kurama, the Kyuubi within Naruto. Sorry I had to do a little sniffle, I don't know. something about the winter and, well, I guess you could say the holiday season gets my sinuses a bit rousy, so to speak. With that being said, back to the story. Naruto would then watch as this man would unsheath his blade, as he would quickly dodge both the farmer in front of him and the man behind him, as both the farmer and the man would clash. Naruto would note that, well, their strength seemed to be even, as the farmer was able to keep up with the man, and his scythe didn't break either. It also looked as if the man was applying most of his force, but it looked like a controlled energy, not something that, like, somebody like, for instance, Sasuke would use or would send flying towards Naruto, right? Something that had a, well, to be honest, great structure. It was positioned in a very way that felt unique, powerful, skilled. Naruto noted all of these things about this man. This man who seemed to be some sort of samurai, some sort of, well, swordsman. With that being said, Naruto would continue the rush out of the village, but little did he know, basically once you get in, you can not get out. It's almost like a fortress, but like I said, once you get in, you can't get out. So a fortress with impenetrable walls, but also a maze within it, if that makes sense. With that being said, Naruto would encounter many strong foes, until he eventually got lost. You see, only the people who actually live on Mount Oniki, which is what I'm going to refer to it as for the rest of the video, if I bring it up again in the video, the people that live there know the place. You know, they've grown up on it. They have many maps that are taught generation to generation, and it's just that kind of thing. I don't really want to say generation to generation, as only one full generation has lived here, but I think you guys get my point. Each generation, they will teach, the kids will be taught these maps. They will know, you know, where to go for food. They will know where to go to fight. They will know where to go to train. They will know where to go to become ninja. They will know where to go to plant. You get the point. They know their directions, so to speak, and they know where everything is in the village. But somebody who's a foreigner like Naruto would never even have the slightest of, well, you could even say, ability to comprehend the structure and foundation of the village. With that being said, Naruto had found himself in the worst possible position. The person who governed the land was in front of him, a man who, well, dwarfed Naruto, but not in height, because this Naruto is about, we'll say 5'9". With that being said, this man did dwarf Naruto in something, and Naruto could clearly feel it. His aura was so powerful. A monkey-like man, or maybe even a Kermit of sorts. Somebody who spent their entire lives training is what Naruto thought to himself, to match him. Such a, well, interesting man. This man had a beard and wore interesting clothing, resembling somebody from the Stone Village, Naruto thought. But who could this be? Who could this ninja be? Naruto would then grab his stomach as he felt hungry, but he wasn't truly hungry. You see, Naruto had been eating some onigiri before he came. If you don't know what onigiri is, it's just some rice balls, just plain old rice balls, and they really filled him up, so he wasn't actually hungry. Rather, it was the Nine Tails trying to get his attention, but Naruto in the heat of the moment could not speak to the Nine Tails, due to the fact that this man in front of him was actually the fourth Tails. Or should I say four Tails Jinchuriki, Roshi, who had the being within him, Son Goku. That's why I said like a monkey-like presence, not because Son Goku is in any way a monkey, but kind of like his Jinchuriki is kind of a monkey, slash a gorilla, whatever you want to call it, and also because, well, in the famous show Dragon Ball Z, the character Goku is a Saiyan, and another character of the show refers to him as a monkey. Due to their tail-like features. And, well, Son Goku is just a monkey in general, technically speaking. With that being said, this man would then use his lava like a Genkai. If you did not know, we'll refer to him as Roshi from now on, as Roshi is actually the person who has the four tails. Roshi actually has the ability to kind of, like, create lava, and it's a very deadly technique. With that being said, he would gather lava on his fist, as Naruto would feel the heat in front of him. Naruto would stare Roshi dead in the eyes as Roshi would ask what Naruto's business was in the village. As multiple people started to rush towards Naruto from behind him, Roshi would then move his arm so quick that Naruto wasn't able to catch up with it, even with his advanced sight. Due to the fact that, well, in a way he has a, you could say, built-in Sharingan. He doesn't actually have a Sharingan, but at the same time his senses are heightened and things of the sort, as he technically is like a brother clan to the Uchiha. With that being said, Naruto wouldn't be able to trace this movement, as around him lava would be everywhere, but the townspeople would then stop. They would laugh it off. Oh, Roshi's got them, or him. But if there's two of them, well then, they'll both be dead. You see, they said them because they felt two presences. All the people from this village, might I add, are very skilled with sensing. Well, yeah. With that being said, most of the people here are actually former rogue ninja from the Stone Village, as that's where Roshi's from. And funny enough, I've been able to tie this all up in a knot, so to speak. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but basically, Onaki is from the Stone Village. The Hidden Stone Village is rogue ninja all come to this place. Roshi is the Four Tails, who belongs to the Stone Village technically, but fled the village. And he is the Kage of this village of rogue ninjas. I think I kind of tied the knot on that one and brought everything full circle, so to speak. With that being said, to everybody else, they had thought that Naruto would be dead, so they would just go back to what they were doing, getting out of the sight of Roshi, as Roshi would continue to, I guess you could say, increase the size of his lava ball, so to speak. With that being said, Naruto would wonder what Roshi was doing, and he knew that if, well, he didn't get help now, then he could, well, quite frankly, die very, very soon, before any of his goals were accomplished. And at this point, Naruto has a vague outline of his goals. Not necessarily to become Hokage, though he does have that in the back of his head. Rather to protect his village, and becoming Hokage is just the easiest way to do that. To, well, be the face of the people. To give his people hope. To make them feel loved. Because, well, to be quite frank, he was not loved. With that being said, we would then see Roshi speak to Naruto. That thing inside of you, how long has it been there? Naruto would look at Roshi with a surprise. You mean my Susano? Naruto would then wonder, how did he know? How did he know that he had a Susano? Of course, this wasn't actually Naruto's Susano that he was talking about, rather, the Nine Tails. You see, the Susano listens to orders, especially if they're commanded heavily, like when Naruto told him to never come out again. So right now he's just resting, gathering chakra from around him, as rather it was the Kyuubi. Naruto didn't know of the Kyuubi, as Roshi would then look at Naruto confused. Susano? I've never heard of that, but I'm talking about your tailed beast, boy from the leaf. Oh, him. It seems to me like you are not on good terms with your Biju. You're right. We don't always get along, and, well, I had a power. A power? Explain to me. I don't have to tell you anything. We're not even from the same village. Well, I don't even have to spare your life, don't you think? I could easily escape. Before Naruto finished his sentence, he would rather not say it. He could easily escape, but how? Was he, well, mentally dumb? Stupid, even? Not to be rude to anybody who may have a disability, of course. Of course. But with that being said, he thought to himself, he doesn't have a way to escape lava being surrounded by him. At any moment, Roshi upon will could, well, kill him. Wash away his dreams, burn him even to ash, erase him from history as he knows it. Of course, the tailed beast inside of him wouldn't truly die, because, well, it would be reborn over thousands of years, you could say. And it would be restored to its former form and glory. But either way, with that being said, Naruto would reply, there's this special ability I have known as the Susano. It is an ability, or I should say guardian, that protects me. Where is that guardian now? Because, quite frankly, or should I say, it's not here, if you will. At least I can't see it. Well, let me explain. The other day I ran across a ninja who was quite formidable. But the Susano was going to protect me by killing that ninja, and I didn't want it to. So I told it to never come out again. A power within you that you've told to never come out of you again, that is so powerful that it can stop your enemies. Who did it stop? I want to gauge the power of this ability. 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙉𝙼, an acquaintance of mine. 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙉𝙼? It's been years since I've heard that name. They say he fled his village in search for a group of people to then bring liberation to the mist. Well, how did that encounter go? He was strong, very strong, but I managed to defeat him. Of course, in actuality, Naruto was able to easily defeat Zabuza. I shouldn't say easy, but you get what I mean. It wasn't like a high difficulty situation, but still it was something. With that being said, Roshi would nod his head. Well then, why are you here? What brings you to a village such as this? Are you here to gather information on my village? Because if so, I might just have to end your life either way. But I kind of feel like that is not your purpose here. It does not seem like your village's agenda. No, I'm here on my own accord. The mission details were that I was to, well, figure out an anomaly. People reported something strange about this mountain. People reported something strange. Go on. Boy. Actually, before you continue, may I know your name? It's Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki for you. Just call me Naruto. Alright, Naruto, go on. Well, there was something strange. People reported massive amounts of smoke coming from the top of this mountain, almost as if there was a volcano here. But, rather, I think I know the reason for that. This ability right here. At first, when you activated it, it became hard for me to breathe. Very hard, in fact. Even now, I can barely breathe and had to clear my air pipes with that, well, cough, we'll say. Really? It's that hard for you? Most of the people who, well, live here are perfectly fine with it. I see, so they've adapted. Humans adapt in most situations like this, I assume. Well, the humans here are not normal. They are ninja who are used to the battlefield. Rogue ninja who abandoned their Kage. Oniki made this place, and now I run it. How ironic. I see. Though, I must add this. The children here are not adept for war. Of course, multiple ninjas started to, well, have children, and these children are not ready for the pollution that sits within the air. With that being said, we have started to expand, and I use my lava to create land masses. You see, a core element in lava is rock. I create, or I should say I can create, land from nothing. As long as I use my abilities in interesting and unique ways, it is pretty easy to do. I just, well, use my ability, Naruto Uzumaki. Wait, that name. I'm a decently old man, and even I remember the tales of a Jonin, a rising Jonin at that, who fell in love with the Kage of the village long ago. The village hidden in the leaves, that is. Her name, I can't wrap my finger around it. Come on. Hey, Son Goku. Remind me, what was that, well, promising Jonin from the Leaf Village's name? Her name was Kushina. She used to have the 9 tails. And her name also was, well, Uzumaki. Is that what you wanted? Yes, thank you. Well, I am getting a little old. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki Naruto. I think she may very well have been your mother. Mother? Naruto thought to himself. Naruto would fall on his knees. He would then look up at Orochi, or I shouldn't say Orochimaru, but to Naruto it looked like Orochimaru. Somebody who was unfamiliar, unnatural, and even unusual. Somebody who you wouldn't meet in your normal travels. That's why it felt like he was looking at Orochimaru. So that's why I said he looked up at Orochimaru. Naruto would then squint his eyes as he saw the true nature of Roshi. Was this truly somebody who had a beast such as the one within him? Within him? Maybe that didn't make sense to you, but basically he's saying, is this truly somebody who also has a Biju, or somebody who is also Ancient Jinchuriki? Roshi would laugh, continuing, Tell me, Naruto, how old are you? No, how long have you been with your Biju? You're so carefree. Naruto would then stand up on his two legs, or I should say legs in general. With that being said, he would look at Hiroshi. You laugh too much. I don't like it. You are too serious, Naruto. Ease up. I don't like it one bit. Naruto would then pull his fist back as Roshi, my bad, I don't know what happened there, would squint his eyes as Naruto would stop, immediately deciding to use his left fist instead of his right. He would then punch Roshi up as a massive earthquake-like sound, which I had kind of made, would erupt in the area. Everybody in the village would hear this as Roshi would be sent flying out of his own massive ball of lava. Naruto would then tell Roshi that he doesn't like his carefreeness and that he's not there just to, well, talk. It's great that, well, he's found somebody who may be related to him, but don't ever speak of somebody who could be his mother. His mother died a long time ago, and he's never even seen her, nor heard of her before. So don't act like you've known her, or don't act like you've even heard her name. Naruto would look at Roshi, who was now on the floor, back to the ground, with his knees kind of up. So, for example, kind of like the position you'd be in if you were doing sit-ups, just to give you guys a vivid image in your head. Roshi would then stand up, cracking his neck. You don't believe me, kiddo? Don't call me that. Now, wind style. Divine wind bullet. Naruto would then gather an abundant amount of chakra as he would do a, I guess you could say, sound like this. Now, wind bullet, Naruto would say in his head. These bullets would fire. I don't know if that was a good sound, but that is kind of how these bullets would sound. With that being said, they would all then hit Roshi, as Roshi would try to protect himself with fire, but unfortunately for him, it would actually just create an explosion due to the fact that wind and fire, when mixing, create an explosion, like, I guess you could say, element. Roshi would then stand up as he would look at Naruto, telling Naruto that he doesn't even have to use 50% of his power. Naruto is a mere rodent in his path. Naruto would then watch as he was then surrounded with lava. This lava would attach to all places over his body, as Naruto would be swarmed with it. He would then start to burn. Unimaginable pain would be caused to his body. An inferno-like heat would fill it. Or I shouldn't say fill it, but rather touch it. Roshi would tell Naruto, if you very well cannot control your Kekkei Genkai, or whatever that Susano power may be, well, then I'll teach you to control the Nine Tails. But first, we need to get rid of that stupidly strong will of yours. You think you can break my will, Naruto would say. After this day, Naruto would be reported missing. A mission that should have taken only 3 days had now been up to 16 days. Hiruzen was worried, but had his hope in for Naruto. Naruto couldn't have been, well, dead. Could he? Hiruzen thought. No way. With that being said, At this point, Roshi had thrown Naruto off of Mount Oniki about 16,000 times. With that being said, Roshi would eventually pummel Naruto to the ground, knocking him out, as he would take him to a distant village, a village where only bandits were. Bandits actually made up the whole village, as there was about 100,000 in number. Roshi would propose them this one thing. 1 billion Rio for them all. Rio is at least their currency in the Naruto Storm game, so I'm gonna assume it's their currency here too. Also, the coin is reminiscent of the coin in Naruto, so their coin is called Rio, and we have proof for that. With that being said, he would offer 1 billion Rio for them all, and that is a lot. Now, with that being said, they would all accept. Of course, Roshi was not actually being serious, but he would also give them a task. Even if they can beat Naruto, if they cannot break his will, then they do not get a single dime. The bandits would all accept, as Roshi would tell them that he is a man of their word. At least one of them will get the money that he speaks of, the one who can break Naruto's will the most. They would then see it as a competition of sorts now, as they would start to one by one beat on Naruto, who would be, well, unable to do anything. The QB watched Naruto's body fly around as he himself was getting hurt a little, but it felt like nothing. These were mere bandits hitting a bag of flesh, you could say. With that being said, eventually they would torture Naruto. I shouldn't say torture, rather they would hit him every day. Give him small bits of food, which would leave him malnourished. His will truly was being defeated. No, his will truly was being destroyed. And with that being said, this is where I'm going to end off the part. Make sure to check out the affiliate links down below. This has been Working Hard to the Susano Part 3 and Rami X. Rami X back in our video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it would be greatly appreciated. It would also be very, very, very much appreciated if you checked out the links affiliated down below to support the channel and just to support me overall. Increase my, I guess you could say happiness. With that being said, make sure to comment down below with the suggestions, as it would be really appreciated if I could see some of you guys' suggestions so that I can do future what if topics and continue to do even more what ifs. With that being said, we shall now get into the recap. In the last part, we basically ended off with Naruto's will being further broken. We also had the whole dynamic with, well, Roshi kind of throwing Naruto off 1,600 times off of Mount Onoki. This would cause, like, the Leaf Village to be suspicious and wonder where Naruto was, so they would actually send Anbu to the Leaf Village. But under Roshi's rule, these Anbu were not to be killed. Rather, they were just to be severely injured and, well, thrown off the mountain. This would deter them from any, like, I guess you could say, push. Like, any, like, pushing towards the mount, as other people call it. But in actuality, it's Mount Oniki. With that being said, we now switch back to Naruto. Naruto would sit in the middle of a town filled with bandits, as bandits laughed at him, mocked him, spat at him, threw things at him, and looked at him in disgust. Is this really the boy who we're being paid $1 billion to kill? We're not to kill him, Jim. Don't call me by my real name. Refer to me as Jim Taro. Fine, Jim Taro. We're not to kill him. Rather, we must break his will. Did you not hear, Roshi? If we are to kill him, we do not get a single dime. But if we break his will, we get 1 billion. To ourselves, and maybe even all of us. He did say he'd keep his word. And if he doesn't give it to us, we'll just rob him for all his gold. Now, continue your job. Continue mocking this boy. I was also informed that his dream is to protect his village. Mock him about that. Oh, and his mother. Mock him about that as well. Her name's Uzumaki Kushina, or Kushina Uzumaki. Fine then, boss. Jim Taro, do not fail me. Fine, Master Sennin. Master Sennin, who was clearly the leader of all these bandits, I don't know if I made that apparent, but yeah, he's the leader of all these bandits, would walk away as he would watch from afar, slowly throwing darts at Naruto to slowly, break his defenses and things of the sort. With that being said, Jim Taro would approach Naruto, kicking him into a nearby building. Naruto would then laugh, smiling. You think you can break my will? Roshi put you up to this, didn't he? Roshi who? The only person who I'm here is, or the only reason why I should say is, well, because you're the son of Kushina Uzumaki. That brat. She's your mother, isn't she? At this point, Naruto had known that she's his mother. He had to. Well, everything kind of just aligned. As he was angered, "Don't speak bad about my mother," Naruto would say, looking down at the ground. Naruto's hair covering his face as he was sweaty from the constant harm done to his body. Things being splashed all over him, even in some cases hot boiling water. And most people watching this should know how hot boiling water is, or at least close to how hot it is. Maybe you touched a stove when you were younger, maybe younger than that. But with that being said, please do not touch a stove. It hurts. You may get a blister on your finger. Just don't. It makes no sense. Don't touch like boiling hot water, or you can like touch the outside of a kettle maybe, but like don't stick your hand in, like, please. It hurts as well. Like, I don't want you guys to like injure yourselves, but I think you guys get the point of what is happening in Naruto. Anyway, also sorry for any background noise. My family's just laughing a lot due to the fact that they're watching a funny movie, you could say. With that being said, Naruto would not have it. He would stand up as he was ready to face this bandit. But immediately, 50,000 bandits charged Naruto. When he told the bandit to stand down, the bandit laughed at him. Naruto couldn't even get close to J``Taro, the man who was laughing at him. J``Taro then yelled out, "Master Sennin, come down here and show this brat a lesson. Just hit him on the, head with your hammer. It will really straighten him out." "Do you want me to give him brain damage? You fool. Did you not hear Roshi's orders?" "Just do it. Trust me." "Fine." Master Sennin, as well the bandits refer to him, would pull back a giant hammer he held on his back, as he would then slam it into Naruto's head. This would send shockwaves through Naruto's body, as he would then fall to the ground. "Who are you?" "I'm the man who killed your mother," Master Sennin would smirk. "Is this good, J``Taro?" Master Sennin would whisper. "Yes, quite perfect. Now, you will do as I say, or I will kill your mother just like I had killed you. You know, she actually once possessed the fox spirit." "How do you know all that? Did you really do what you're saying?" Naruto could no longer hold back. His rage spiraled out of control. And, nothing he could do would help him. The Nine-Tails couldn't even help him, even though it tried. Nor the Susano. Continuously, the bandits would put seals on Naruto. They were afraid of what could happen if they didn't. Constantly put seals over his body to negate anything, as they were told about his, Kekkei Genkai. Not only that, but his tailed beast, because it would be very dangerous and they would all die if, the Nine-Tails really got, angry, so to speak. I don't think these bandits are beating even the Six-Tails Naruto. I guess it really just depends, though. With that being said, Naruto would continue to try to attack these, ninja, as Sennin, as I'll refer to him for now, would then look at Naruto smirking. "You claimed to be a powerful ninja when you came to Mount Onuki, as Roshi said it's called, not just Mount, but in actuality," shall I clear my throat to say this, as it is very important, "you are just scum beneath me, just like your mother and even your father." Naruto's eyes would turn pale white. He would then scratch the dirt beneath him. Slowly, he would dig into it. His nails now filled with dirt and even dirty, so to speak. He would then lift the bandits off of him, as he would roar out. This roar was enough to send a shockwave around him, but it wasn't enough to defeat the bandits, not in the slightest. Each bandit would then make a comment about his mother and father. None true, but Naruto took it as such. But Naruto not even being able to stand up for his own parents, let alone his village, as they did mock that as well. They mocked his friends, they mocked his family, they mocked his home. As Naruto was unable to do anything, Naruto's will would shatter. He would then go for a punch, but Master Sennin, or just Sennin for short, would then elbow him in his back, causing Naruto's punch to then fall to the ground. He would then stand on his legs, but his head was pointed downwards. Naruto's hair then covered his eyes, just like it had when he was, well, kicked on the floor. Naruto would then not speak. He would not cry. He would not roar. He was not mad. He was tired. He hadn't slept in days, nights, even a week. But he had kept fighting, continuously taking their insults and throwing some back at them. Naruto was very strong-willed. Very, very strong-willed. Not to mention how powerful Naruto had continued to get, as his durability slowly increased, and so did his power. This was like training, but on hard difficulty. Kind of like when you play a game that allows you to change the difficulty, like Call of Duty, or even the popular game Minecraft. And you can choose the option of normal, easy, or hard. With that being said, this would be, for example, hard mode for Naruto, as it was training his body in a way that had never been done before. Though he did not know this, he only felt the pain and suffering caused by the moment they mocked his parents, his family, and his friends, even his very own home village and home. Naruto would then fall on his knees, as 2 tears would fall from his eyes. He would then speak. "I'm tired," Naruto would say, as he would fall face first into the ground. Naruto would then wake up, as he did not wake up in the middle of a street where bandits surrounded him, and one rice ball was in front of him, and a piece of steak. Rather, he was in a warm place, with a lit fire, in a home to be more exact. Naruto looked around as he saw Roshi. He would then ask what Roshi had been doing, as Roshi would say he was out of town, gathering materials for food. And he would also say that he had set up the whole thing with the bandits. Naruto's eyes would, well, open wide, as he would tell Roshi that he doesn't care. He wants to quit being a ninja. He doesn't even want to do it anymore, Naruto would say. Roshi would be stunned. They broke his will this much, Roshi thought to himself, as Naruto would continue. Bandits, huh? You know, on my first mission I dealt with a lot of bandits. Or at least my first mission out of the village. But these ones were strong. There was one in particular, I think his name was Master... His name's Sennin. He's a Kage level ninja. I knew of the bandits' location because they also fled from the stone. Our village was powerful back in the day, but many of the ninja in our village did not believe in Oniki because of their massive loss at the hands of the Leaf Village from your father, Minato Namikaze, the former 4th Hokage. This is where Naruto would learn of his father's heritage and even some of his most famous feats, like clashing with the Raikage, hurting a young Eight-Tails, and even stopping a war. Naruto was surprised at how powerful his dad was, as he would ask, or I guess you could say it would come to the realization that they had thrown such insults because their families had been lost to Naruto's father, and even, I guess you could say by proxy, Naruto's mother. And even Naruto himself, I guess, as everything is related. And in a way, people want revenge. So he understood why they, cursed at him so heavily. But at that same time, he didn't care. Why would he? He had just been, broken. His will was destroyed entirely. With that being said, Naruto would stand up, as he would then fall back to the ground. He would then fall asleep, as around him was darkness, nothingness even. All that stood there was a boy with dark black hair, coated in golden armor. I'm the manifestation of your Susano. You know, Kabuto's my name. My apologies for any background noise again. I don't know what that was, but something must have fell. With that being said, I shall continue. Kabuto would then present himself as powerful beyond Naruto, as he would immediately rush towards Naruto, stopping right before him, I should say, but the shockwave of the stop would cause Naruto to be sent flying. This would then send Naruto even further into the darkness, as Kabuto was the only light, as his golden armor shined brightly, brighter than everything and anything Naruto had ever seen in his lifetime. Kabuto would then laugh. The great Naruto Uzumaki, the man who even has control over me, his Susano. Luck, or I should say Kabuto, would then appear beside and behind Naruto at the same time. He was that fast. You know, my real name isn't Kabuto, but you just gave me that name because of what my Susano is. That's the Susano's name. Even though I am a manifestation of it, I'd like to be called Luck. Luck would then appear behind Naruto yet again, kicking him up into the air as he would fly further into the darkness. But there again, Luck/Kabuto, I refer to both of their names, I guess you could say. So if I say Kabuto, it's still Luck, but if I say Luck, it's still Kabuto, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But with that being said, yet again, Luck was the light. Luck would then fly high, with Naruto also going up into the sky, you could say, the sky of darkness, but he wasn't necessarily going upwards, rather his body was flying upwards, if that makes sense, because he was hit upwards, so he's not like directly going upwards, rather his body's kind of like being sent upwards. With that being said, Luck was right beside him, flying through the skies of darkness, within Naruto's interesting mind. With that being said, Luck would look at Naruto. You're disgusting, Luck would say, as he would do a backflip mid-air. He would then kick Naruto to the floor, as Naruto would fall onto the floor. I'm disgusting? What do you mean? Now go away. Did you not hear me? I told you to never show yourself to me again. That's not actually what you said. Is that what you want, though? Do you want me to never show you myself again? Because that's not what your mind wants. Because from what I can see, I am the only light in this dark. Luck would then grab tightly onto his spear as he would rush towards Naruto, impaling him. This would not actually damage Naruto, but in this, mind of Naruto's, he definitely felt the pain. He was emotionally hurting Naruto. Everything Luck/Kabuto did to Naruto right now was hurting him on an emotional level, not on a physical, not in the slightest. Naruto, us Susano are heavily bonded to the Namikaze clan. Your father, Minato, he served along with my father, and his father served along with my grandfather, and my great-grandfather. Not once did they lose their wills. Not once did they lose their ways, and they were in much worse situations than you. Trust me when I say that. My father told me it all. You see, us Susanos don't have the greatest childhoods, but we do get to see our fathers. For 1 year. That year was the best year of my life. It was the same year before I guess you could say got put into you, or you could even say I was reincarnated into you. But it wouldn't make too much sense if I said that. Rather, I'll say I was, born into you. Yeah. I see. Though I must say, I am kind of saddened that it wasn't a full year. It was only 9 months. You see, in the months between well, the time that you were conceived, you could say, or being born. While your mother was pregnant, I was able to talk to my father. I wish she was pregnant only 4 months more. Then I could say it was a full year. But my point is, Naruto, what you've gone through is nothing, but to see that you've lost your way is sickening. Luck would then walk towards Naruto, as Naruto, in his imagination, would be bloodied. Everything was now more clear. There was now trees around him. He was in a forest on the grassy, mossy floor, and Luck stood above him, with the sun shining brightly onto Luck's armor, which, well, was able to reflect it as it had been made of gold and things of the sort. Luck would then look down at Naruto with a stare, so gloomy Naruto could barely, well, do anything. He could barely think straight. Kabuto. Why? Why are you doing this? Can't you see, Master? You lost your way. And quite frankly, I don't know what to do. You see, ever since you told me to leave and, well, never come out, I haven't known what to do. And I've just watched you struggle, unable to do anything. I almost lost my way as well. Do you not know the suffering I felt? The tailed beast within you, too. Me and him were struggling. We couldn't protect you, even though we were being beaten just as badly as you were. Naruto would then have a flashback in his head back to, which is interesting because he's already in his head, you could say. But yeah, with that being said, he would remember when the bandits kicked him into the building, when previous actions that I hadn't actually said, but this did occur, when the bandits used multiple jutsu on him in a day, when the bandits hit him, beat him, threw boiling hot water at him, spat on him. All the insults they threw at him also affected, well, both the 𝘾𝙂 and Luck. Not only that, but all the pain he felt affected them both as well. And all the emotional struggle he felt affected them both as well. So when Naruto's will broke, so did theirs. Luck would then look at Naruto, falling on his knees. Tears now streaming down his face as he would then have a confused look. You see, Naruto, I didn't know what to do. No, me and the 𝘾𝙂 didn't know what to do. We couldn't do anything. The 𝘾𝙂 would then put its hand on Luck's shoulder, or at least the manifestation of Luck in Naruto's mind. It's okay. The 𝘾𝙂 would then wipe his eye as he had actually shed a tear for both Luck's sentiment and Naruto's pain. Like I said before, they shared their emotional pain. And not necessarily that they did in the canon, where, well, Naruto never had a Susano, but because his Susano is kind of put, I guess you could say, a whole triangle effect. Not a love triangle, but something much different, but kind of similar. He's actually been able to feel Naruto's emotions. But with that being said, Luck would then thank the 𝘾𝙂, thanking him for enduring his pain as well. As Naruto would realize what was happening, Naruto would realize he can't just give up. If he gave up, he would affect both Kabuto/Luck and the Nine Tails, who was much more friendly than he ever imagined. Naruto would then look up at the Nine Tails, and he would also look at Luck. He would then bow to them. Please, Luck, and the 𝘾𝙂, please forgive me, but I need your power. I'll never be able to defeat Roshi if I don't get it, and I will never leave here if I don't defeat him. I can't. My pride depends on it. Fine, we'll give you our power, the 𝘾𝙂 would say. Luck would then be angered with an angry look on his expression. He was just kidding around, but he still had an angry look on his face. Don't make decisions for me, 𝘾𝙂, Luck would say, as he would then start to smirk. Naruto, I'll gladly give you my power as well. Now you admit it, 𝘾𝙂. You want to give him my power just as eager as I am for him to use mine, right? Fine, I do admit it. It is sickening watching him only play with your power. Though your Susano is interesting. I have a distaste for Uchiha, though, so it does at times make me angry. But knowing who you are and what you're like, I think I don't mind the Susano. Even though it has caused me some pain in the past. If you don't know what I'm talking about, actually, Madara used the Susano and coated the Nine Tails with it, but I think the Kyuubi in this situation is okay with it, as Naruto would decide to fight Roshi. He would, or Roshi, if I did not say that correctly. Naruto would then wake up, as he would challenge Roshi. He would lay on his bed as he would say, Roshi, tomorrow at 6 a.m., we fight. Roshi would smile, though Naruto had not seen it. Well then, if that's true, I gladly accept your challenge, Naruto. Alright. With that being said, Naruto would then leave Roshi's home, as he would then gather supplies for the fight, like shuriken and kunai. At this point, Naruto's been here for a pretty long time. About a month at that, as he would actually know his way around and would have maps and things of the sort to traverse the land. With that being said, Naruto would then have a fight with Roshi, as their fight would commence. And with that being said, this is where I've decided to leave out the part. Maybe these parts are a little small, with only like 20 minutes or so, but yeah, I think it's alright. I think this is the perfect length for the videos on my channel right now. I feel like going overboard is alright. Like, the first part of the series was 28 minutes. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, also, I hope you guys enjoyed the What If Naruto the Izanagi, the movie, which that video should be out by then, but maybe I'm just wrong in my calculations, as this has been recorded on, I think, the 27th of October, or the 26th, it really just depends. But yeah, with that being said, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, check out the affiliate links down below, comment down below your thoughts and feelings about the videos, as well as what suggestions, and 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙃. Oh, 𝙎𝙈𝙃 back in a video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, as it would be very, very, very appreciated, as it would boost, well, the channel, and would, well, help the YouTube algorithm see my video. With that being said, please check out the affiliate links down below, as it would mean a lot to me if you supported me in those ways as well. With that being said, check out my second channel down below, and we can now get into the recap. Please comment, though, as it would be, well, appreciated, as I would like to see you guys' what ifs, and also maybe some of your thoughts on this video. I'm gonna try to make this video very action-packed, as I feel like in the last two parts I made it very story-packed. I kind of want to have a mix of emotional stuff and physical stuff in my what ifs. As before, I think I did like a physical and emotional at the same time, but I feel like if I do one part where it's usually like emotional feelings, or like more like story and less like action, more story, and it really drives the character development and things like that, then in the next part there's the action. I think I'm still just gonna mix it up in every single part, but I think this one's gonna be a special one where I'm gonna try to do a good job of highlighting the action. With that being said, in the last part we basically ended off with Naruto challenging Roshi after healing his connection/bond with the Susano and also the Nine Tails. Well, I guess you could say he just started a bond with the Nine Tails. Naruto would then meet Roshi at 6 a.m. as Naruto would have a dead stare at Roshi. I'm here to beat you and that's it, Naruto would say, taking off the cloak that he had worn most of the time that he was at Mount Onaki. This cloak also protected his normal clothes from the massive smokes coming off of the, I guess you could say, village/country. With that being said, Naruto would then launch towards Roshi. Roshi, it's over. 1,000 Divine Fist. You think it's over that quickly? 1,000 Lava Fist, Roshi would yell. Both attacks would collide as shockwaves would be sent throughout the country. People planting seeds and people drinking coffee would be unable to, as earthquakes would, well, destroy what they were doing, or mess up what they were doing, you could say. With that being said, Naruto would rush towards Roshi, kicking him. Ha ha ha, Naruto would say, as he thought that he had caught Roshi off guard. but unfortunately he hadn't. Roshi would grab Naruto by the leg, slamming him into the ground. Naruto would quickly pull out a kunai, throwing it forward and towards Roshi. Roshi would quickly dodge, grabbing the same kunai and flipping it with his finger. There was a hole in between the kunais, which I think most of you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically, on the end, there was this like little hole. Roshi would put his hand through it, swinging the kunai around and throwing it towards Naruto. Naruto would quickly do a backflip. In this same moment, the kunai would fly directly under his head, causing Naruto to not be hit by it. He would then grab the same very kunai, as he would then have chakra around the kunai, throwing it towards Roshi, who would dodge. This kunai would now be out of the play, you could say. Naruto would then throw multiple shuriken, I should say, towards Roshi, who would dodge the shuriken as well, but they would stunt his movements, even if only for a minute. This was enough time for Naruto to quickly rush past Roshi. As little did Roshi know, paper bombs were now everywhere. Roshi would then have to block, as quickly he had made himself a lava defense. This lava defense would then expand into hands, as he would then yell out, 10 lava fist. Massive eruptions of lava would come out in the form of fist, as Naruto would quickly yell out, Kabuto, come to me. Kabuto / Luck, who I did name, or fully, I guess you could say, give the backstory on / name Luck / Kabuto in the last part, would come out, protecting Naruto from this lava. Roshi would then continue. Oh, you think it's over? 1,000 lava fist times 2. Roshi would then launch this attack, as he would realize that at this point he's used about 20% of his chakra. Roshi was a strong man, but he was, well, past his youth, you could say. He's still in his prime, but not his youth. With that being said, Roshi would then continue his onslaught, as each hit would, I guess you could say, weaken Luck / Kabuto / the Susano's defense even further. Naruto would then call in the Susano to use an offensive-like attack, as Luck would grab his spear, encasing it with the Nine-Tails chakra, as both Luck and the Nine-Tails worked together in tandem, hitting Roshi. This would send Roshi flying off of the mountain, but quickly he had used his, well, lava ability to fly throughout the air and attach himself to the mountain so that he could then continue the fight, as he would. Naruto and Roshi would then clash again. Naruto's foot would hit Roshi's foot, as Roshi's foot would then hit Naruto's hand. Foot to hand, if that makes sense, or I should say fist to hand, if that makes sense even more. With that being said, Naruto would then take advantage of this, grabbing Roshi's foot and swinging him up into the air, as he would then fly skywards, or upwards, I should say. This time, Naruto was ready to hit him again. Now it's over, Roshi, Naruto would say, as he would then utilize the full abilities of the Nine-Tails. Now, QB Fist! Roshi would smile. So you've already mastered the Nine-Tails' chakra. How interesting. But even though you have, it seems to me like you haven't, well, even close to remotely mastered its abilities. Roshi would then clasp fist to fist with Naruto as he would smirk. He would then crack all of Naruto's fingers as he would force Naruto's hands into making a jutsu. He would then kick Naruto down as he would yell out, Fireball, extinguishing lava jutsu. This fireball would be mixed with the, well, flaming and raging flames of the lava infernos that Roshi was able to create with his Kekkei Genkai, as it would hit Naruto. This would send Naruto flying into the ground, and would even injure him. He would have little bits of flashbacks back to when he first met Roshi, as he would smile. I can't let my emotions get in the way, Naruto would say, as he would continue to attack Roshi. Punch to punch, hit to hit, they were on even footing. Naruto couldn't seem to get the upper hand, but when he had, Roshi would, well, just as quickly take it away from him, and would then get the upper hand himself. And I don't know what just happened there, but yeah, it happened. With that being said, the same thing would happen. Naruto would then, get the upper hand on Roshi, and the cycle would continue. With that being said, eventually, two ninja would step in. Two of Roshi's top commanding ninja, or I guess you could say the two strongest people in the village besides Roshi, who I'll say for the sake of the story are both about low Kage level. They would try to stop the fight, as many people were complaining about the damage that was being done to the country itself. But Roshi would shake his head, as both Naruto and Roshi would be able to still clash, because they had knocked out the people beside them. Not, well, in a conventional way, but they had just basically punched them out of their ways and clashed with one another. as they were basically like trying to stand in front of each other. Basically, put it like this: Roshi is in front of one of the ninja, who we'll call Kobo, and behind Kobo is Soto. In front of Soto is Naruto, so they're all kind of in a line, and Naruto would punch Soto, and Roshi would punch Kobo, these two low-Kage ninja, which would then cause them both to clash. These shockwaves would then increase in velocity, as now everybody in the village would watch. This fight had now become not one of just a 1v1, but rather a 50v50. Ninja were attacking Naruto for, well, fighting their Kage, and other ninjas were attacking Roshi for being so stupid as to disrupt what they were doing and things of the sort. They were equally as mad at both of them. This would make the fight even more interesting, as they dodged attacks from multiple other ninjas, but at the end of the day, it was a clash between two brothers, you could say. Now, they're not actually brothers, but I think you guys get what I mean when I say a clash between brothers. They're almost like brothers. They're connections, so to speak, as they've actually gone through quite a bit in this about a month's time. With that being said, Naruto would then tell Roshi that he's ready to finish it all. Naruto would then tell Kabuto to come forth, as his Kyuubi chakra would surround the Susano. Naruto would then smirk. Well, it's over for you now. I've tapped into even more of the Kyuubi's power. You have? Yes, I have. Now, Tailed Beast Bomb. A Tailed Beast Bomb? Yeah, that's what this is. Roshi would then launch his own Tailed Beast Bomb, as they would watch us both would clash, with Naruto's overtaking Roshi's. Roshi would then try to put more power behind his, as we would start to charge up another one. But unfortunately, it was too late. He was hit with the attack, and the mountain's peak was destroyed. This would cause the mountain to now be a plateau. If some of you viewers out there are young, even though I advise against young people watching my videos, these like people who are about 12 years old, 13 years old, that kind of age. 13 is whatever, I guess it's all right. But I'd rather people who are older, who can understand the plot and the story much better, watch my videos. Not to say that if you're 12, you can't, because I'd say, frankly, as a 12-year-old, I was pretty smart. With that being said, a plateau is a flat area of ground, or like a flat, mountainous area, so to speak. But basically, it's just flat, usually speaking. With that being said, the area would then turn into a plateau, or mount, I will call it. People, or I should say onlookers from other, like, distant villages who were able to look at Mount from below, or Mount Oniki from below, would actually now give it a name, Mount Plateau. But Roshi would fall into these nearby villages, as he would correct them. No, its new name will be Mount Naroshi. Mount Naroshi? That name, it's interesting. Why is it called that? Roshi then thought about it. What about Mount Roshinaru? Yeah, I like that much better. I was just kidding with you guys. This village's name is Mount Roshinaru. I think you guys get the point of what I'm saying and why it's called this. Basically, because Roshi and Naruto created the plateau, I guess you could say, by using their tail beast bombs, he decided to name it Mount Roshinaru. Because, well, he's Roshi and Naruto's Naruto. With that being said, he also wanted his name above him because, well, he's older. He feels like, elders come first, whatever. With that being said, the villagers below would accept it. It's a pretty good name. Mount Roshinaru. It sounded really powerful, really bold. With that being said, Roshi would then get back up to the mountain, as at this point, Naruto had already finished fighting, and he had calmed all the villagers down who had lost homes and things of the sort. As he would start to rebuild, Naruto would then promise to stay one more month, as this village had now expanded much greater, and they had actually used just a little bit of military force to actually, I don't know why my voice sounded like that, but it is what it is. They used a little bit of military force to actually conquer some of the land below. This would help with their natural resources, as they would have a lot more, and they would actually be a much more, I guess you could say, plentiful village with a lot more resources. This would also cause their homes to not be as polluted and the air they breathe not to be as polluted, which would mean that the age rate would skyrocket, as, well, you know, eventually pollution would take a toll on their bodies. For some of you young people watching, as I know there will be some of you, and actually even some of you older people watching, honestly, please, and I know you've probably heard this a million times in your life, or at least tens of times, dozens, but please don't litter. Please pick up that water bottle. Even if it's not yours, maybe not in these times, but maybe when, you know, COVID-19 calms down, maybe just pick up a water bottle and throw it in the trash can. Or maybe, just don't litter yourself. Just that one wrapper of a chocolate bar, like a Twix or a Kit Kat or whatever even, can really be a lot to our planet. And I personally want a generation where my children can grow up and they don't breathe in air that can kill them. Yeah. I just don't want that to be too saddening, nor do I want you guys to really focus on the video, but I do want you guys to reflect, and I want you guys to just, you know, not litter. Just, please, it would really make my day if you just didn't litter. With that being said, Naruto had fixed the village completely, and they had actually expanded greatly. At this point, they had actually rivaled the size of the stone village, which again is very ironic as well. All the stuff I said in the last video, which you should definitely check out. Or it might have been the last video, depending on the timeline. With that being said, Naruto would then depart from Mount 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃, as a massive sign would be put up on the day of his leave by all the villagers, which Naruto was happy about. And there was also 2 statues, one of Roshi, who was the first Kage of the village, and another of Naruto, who was to be considered the second Kage of Mount 𝙎𝙈𝙃. He was only a standing Kage for about 2 weeks, though, while he was there, as Roshi had went on a mission. This mission was actually just conquering some of the land down below, but, you know, it's still a mission nevertheless. With that being said, they had both had 2 statues, and it was officially named Mount 𝙎𝙈𝙃, a village with a powerful Kage and one of the Biju. With that being said, the village was also sealed off from the public. Nobody who didn't have intel on the village could actually get in. This also protected Naruto while he was there, and it also protected Roshi from the threat of the Akatsuki, as Naruto had just recently found out about it. With that being said, Naruto would return. As little did he know, a lot of time had passed. Things were a little different. What do I mean? Well, at this exact moment when Naruto had returned, something odd, you could say, had happened. Everybody there was preparing for a war, a fight even, as Naruto didn't understand. Why? Why were they preparing for a fight? It made no sense. Also, I believe I did touch upon the fact that Naruto did actually have her Rasengan in this timeline, and he still does have it. With that being said, so he doesn't actually need to learn it. But with that being said, everybody was preparing to fight, as Naruto would immediately visit the Hokage's office, seeing an unfamiliar face. "Who are you, old hag? Old hag, do you not see my beautiful skin?" the lady would say. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. Lady Tsunade. With that being said, or the 5th Hokage is her name, Lady Tsunade. Or one of the former Sanin, the Slug Princess, Tsunade. But with that being said, the woman would then tell Naruto that she is a beautiful young lady. Naruto would then say, "Sure, you look like you're maybe 30, maybe even 40. But yeah, you look good for your age, sure. But where's the old man? You mean Hiruzen?" "Yes, old man Sarutobi. Where is he?" "Oh, he's resting at home. Probably... I don't know. You go ask him." "Fine. Wait, actually, I have a question. Since you are the current Hokage, why is everybody who's a Genin getting prepared to fight some sort of battle?" "Some sort of battle? Hey, what rank are you? Are you a Chunin or a Genin or a Jonin?" "I'm a Chunin." Naruto at this point would actually be lying. He was not officially a Chunin, nor was he technically actually a Chunin. With that being said, Tsunade would tell him anyway. Well, a ninja named Sasuke had fled the village, so we're basically going after him. Lady Tsunade, I lied to you. I am a genin, and Sasuke was actually on my team. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I went to a village which is now known as Mount Roshinaru. I was actually a Kage there for about 2 weeks, a stand-in Hokage. My duties to this village were not in, play while I was there, but I did figure out the objective of my mission. I'm glad that I came when I had came, but I'm going to have to go on this mission, whether you like it or not. I will provide great strength. Trust me. I hear your words. And, well, we were missing one person anyways. So I take it you're Naruto Uzumaki. Well, don't get hurt. Thank you, Lady Tsunade. I'm glad you let me go on this mission. Naruto would then leave the room, as he would immediately follow the rest of the Konoha 11 at this point. You could even call it the Konoha 10, because Naruto's not there right now. But with that being said, Naruto would then follow them, eventually getting to 𝘾𝙍𝙗. This is where Naruto would decide to immediately just pull out all the stops to defeat 𝘾𝙍𝙗 as fast as possible. But of course, it wasn't that easy. But eventually, Gaara would show up, and Rock Lee and Gaara were enough to take out 𝘾𝙍𝙗 so that Naruto could, go on. As eventually, Sasuke would look behind him. He saw a man with a mask on, an Anbu mask, in fact. As Sasuke wondered, what was an Anbu doing here? No need for them to be here. Is my absence really that big of a matter? Sasuke thought to himself. What do you want, Master Anbu? Master Anbu. That's what you call me now. Well, in front of us, there are many trees. But eventually, if we go far enough, there is a valley. I can sense it. Water streaming down from the streams within. It's almost like a river. Interesting. So that's where we're fighting. That's where we're definitely fighting. Uchiha. You address me by my surname. Uchiha. But that's it. Why not Sasuke? Why do I not know you? Are you just gonna defeat me, then take me back? That's not happening. I'll show you that I'm even stronger than the Anbu that they've sent. Sasuke would then land on the side of Madara. Cough, cough. Well, his reincarnation, technically. Or Angel's reincarnation, but they both share the same reincarnation. I think you guys get my gist. Well, Naruto, wearing his Anbu mask, would land at the other side. Naruto would then rush towards Sasuke, as Sasuke would immediately pull back a fist. He was now semi-transformed, but was not using his Sharingan. This is the Sasuke that we see at the start of the Sasuke versus Naruto fight at the final valley. With that being said, we would see here Naruto's mask be broken by Sasuke, as Naruto would punch Sasuke down to the ground as he was shocked midair, but he would also be sent flying into the nearby, stream, I guess you could say, down below. So this was a pretty long, I guess you could say, hit. With that being said, he would fall down into the water, as Naruto would immediately jump straight in, punching Sasuke further down. Each hit would send him flying, as he would then get beneath Sasuke, kneeing him upwards. You think that it's already over? I thought that's what you were saying, as Sasuke had actually said that it's over when he broke Naruto's mask. But with that being said, he was surprised when it was Naruto. Naruto would then come out of the water with Sasuke, as he would throw Sasuke up onto the head of Madara Uchiha's statue, as he would then smile. Sasuke, it's been a while. Where have you been, Naruto? Well, let's just say I was playing Kage for a little, and helping out some people. I needed some validation within myself. And now I've got it. And I won't let you lose. I won't let you lose everything just to accomplish what? Just to gain power? Frivolous power that will not do anything for you. You don't understand, Naruto. You don't understand what I've been through. Have you heard of the Uchiha massacre? This is where Sasuke would explain everything that happened to him, as Naruto would shrug his shoulders, agreeing with Naruto. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't even imagine to feel your pain. But you're not the only one who's had it hard. We all have. Choji, for instance. He's always being called a fatso, no matter who he's fighting. Oh, and Sakura. She's always called useless by the other people in the Konoha 11. Why? Because us, her teammates, have just accomplished so much compared to her. With that being said, even somebody like the likes of Tenten, who's a year older than us, well, she's mocked at for only being able to use weapons. Neji, mocked at for being cocky. Hinata for being timid. Shikamaru for being lazy. We all have things that are bad about us. Sure, we can change them, but they are there. Don't act like you're the only one who has problems. Don't act like you're the only one who's laughed at. I see. Well, I should have taken them into account before I made that claim. Either way, it's over, Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke would then have a long battle of taijutsu, amongst the lines of the one that they had in the canon. So basically, along the lines of that fight, that we saw in the original Naruto anime. With that being said, we would then see Sasuke use his signature Chidori, and Naruto use his signature Rasengan. They would then both jump into the air and clash, but this time, one had won. What do I mean by that? Naruto Uzumaki had won the battle, sending Sasuke flying. This would also cause Naruto to be sent flying by the recoil of the attack, as Naruto would make sure that he landed right beside Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke would then both be on their backs, as Naruto would stand up, looking Sasuke dead in the face. Do you really want to continue this fight? Sasuke would look up at Naruto as he would squint his eyes. I've lost. Sasuke would slam his hand into the ground, destroying a piece of the mountain and leaving a huge crater. I've lost! Damn it! Sasuke thought to himself as he would start to shed a tear. This tear would quickly, be wiped away by Sasuke. He didn't want to show his weakness, as Naruto would smile. Don't worry, Sasuke. I did see you crying. Damn you, Naruto. It's alright. Trust me, it's fine. You know, while I was gone, my will was actually broken. And I think it changed me for the better. Now, with that being said, Sasuke, we can get stronger together. You can defeat Itachi. Just not with the help of Orochimaru. You can do it with the help of training. Raw training. With that being said, this is where the part's going to end, with basically Kakashi finding them both passed out. And, yeah. Please check out the affiliate links down below. Comment down below what are suggestions and your thoughts and feelings about the video. Like the video, as it would really help, the YouTube algorithm. And, yeah. Rami X. Rami X back in the video. Hope you guys did not miss this what if too much, and hope that you guys still have interest in it. Really doesn't matter. This is going to be the last part, but let me explain why. As I did say that, well, at least I believe I said that this part would, or that this series would at least go to part 10. Well, I realized something. I realized that Shinto religion, and no, I'm not some sort of Buddhist or anything like that, just so you're aware, but this is not Buddhism in the slightest. With that being said, we're going to be going through what this actually is. We're going to talk about it in today's video, and it's basically going to allow us to finish the video. This is What If Naruto Had the Susano, but let me explain how it's going to end, and so that you guys understand, and I don't just plop this on you guys, and you guys are like, this is a weird ending, this shouldn't have been the ending, but hear me out. Now, Kishimoto, or Masashi Kishimoto, as you might like to call him, is the creator of Naruto, yes? With that being said, he also has been heavily inspired by Shinto religion, at least for the, well, let's just call them Susano, right? With that being said, check out the Naruto index down below, which actually made me realize this fact, and we've kind of partnered together. With that being said, I will bring to you, what if Naruto had the Susano? Part 6. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we can begin. So, to basically just describe Shinto religion in the easiest way possible, I shall do so. So, Shinto religion is a religion, of course, right? But it really did, like I said, base a lot of the Susanos. The names, at least, of many Sharingan abilities were derived from the Shinto religion themselves. Kamui translates to authority of the gods. Koto Matsukami translates to distinguished to heavenly gods, and was also the name of a group of 5 Shinto gods that appeared during the creation of the universe. Amaterasu translates to heavenly illumination and is also the name of the sun goddess in the Shinto religion. Tsukiyomi is the name of the Shinto god of the moon. Susano is the Shinto god of the sea and storms and is also the brother of Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi. Izanami and Izanagi were the names of 2 Shinto gods/goddesses, which creates the Japanese islands and deities on it. Now, let's get back to Susano's meaning. Susano, like I just said, is the Shinto god of the sea and storms, and is also, my bad, the brother of Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi. Now, in the last part, we basically ended off with Sasuke getting a pep talk, you could say, from Naruto to train rather than going with Orochimaru, right? And they would basically just chill in the village for a little, right? But Naruto would have a talk with his Susano and his tailed beast. His tailed beast, Kurama, would tell his Susano, while Naruto was in the presence of, well, them, that if he merges with Kurama, they can become an unstoppable force. And from what he can sense with his sensing abilities, you could say, which are also heightened by the Susano, cough, cough, he can sense everybody on the planet, which includes people like Obito. So, he's now had this idea. If Naruto allows the Susano to merge with the Nine Tails, then he will become basically an unstoppable force who can protect the village, who can protect his friends, who can stop mass destruction, and can, cough, 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 get revenge for Kurama. Because he does want revenge against the masked man. Now, with that being said, this revenge, I guess you could say, will actually be completed as Naruto would agree. Fine, he would say, as Kurama would smirk. Now, Susano, let us merge together. Let us become one. Now, if this isn't already a thing in the timeline, it's going to be a thing here, and I hope you guys understand that. You know, sometimes you have to add things, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you even take away things. With that being said, both the Susano and Kurama would merge, as the Susano's armor would flood Kurama's body, creating a perfect armor for Kurama. He would also now have a shield on his arm, which would appear on Naruto's arm, reminiscent of somebody like the Shield Hero from Rising of the Shield Hero, which I've actually, well, let's just say, made a review on, which is pretty good in my opinion, so please check it out. It's a pretty good series, pretty good watch. Anyway, with that being said, I shall continue. So, Naruto, after doing this, would increase his strength by about 20-fold. His speed would also increase by the same, along with all other attributes of physical strength that you can think of. And his mind was a lot more clearer. He didn't think and ponder on things as he used to. But still, remember, this was if he used and called on the power of the Nine Tails. And he was able to call on the Nine Tails or Susano directly, but he was allowing the Susano and Kurama to fully merge. So he can call on one of their powers indirectly. So, for example, if, KCM2 gives you a 4 times multiplier, then he can also call on Susano, which would give him a 2 times multiplier, which is a 6 times multiplier, and then he can call on his Susano and QB merge transformation 20 times. 6, well, you can just call it, we'll just call it 26 because that's the answer. So, yeah, think about that however you will. And, well, yeah. With that being said, Naruto would now talk to Sasuke, telling him about everything, as Sasuke was utterly surprised and was a bit angry. He now knew that he would never catch up with Naruto. But Naruto would ask Sasuke for something. Hey, Sasuke, I feel as if I can control all elements now. Actually, I feel as if I'm a god. But, one thing. I have a plan to erase all the evil that inhabits this earth. Can I kill Itachi? No, Naruto. Are you foolish? But think about it, Sasuke. If your brother's as strong as you want to be, then he should survive. Don't you think? But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Sasuke, I need to get through to you, okay? Wait, what is this? You see, what's just happened is Naruto has actually entered Sasuke's mind to talk to him. Sasuke, let's talk in here. It's much more safe from the peering eyes of villagers. What do you want, Naruto? I've already told you before, Sasuke. I need you to let it go. And if Itachi is truly as strong as you need to train for, he'll be just fine, don't you think? And if he's truly the evil monster you think he is, then a theory of mine will be shattered. Anyway, Sasuke, at least give me this one chance. If Itachi is killed, I promise I'll kill myself in front of you as recompense for killing your older brother, the one who you wish to kill. Naruto would cough. What is this? I don't know. I felt a massive presence of evil, and it's making me very sick to my stomach. Well, the jutsu I wanted to use would annihilate all evil on this earth. At least in theory it should. So, if I kill your brother, I promise that I will take my own life as thanks. Do you mean it? Yes, I mean it. Who do you think I am, Sasuke? Fine, then. I will allow it. Alright. Now, Naruto would then call forth upon the power of the Kyuubi and the Susano at the same time, providing his 6 times multiplier, as he had already accessed the Kyuubi and the Susano beforehand, you could say. With that being said, we would then see Naruto clench his fist as a sword would appear. Sasuke, do you want to help me? No, I'd rather stay out of it. Fine. Heavenly, destroying, evil rain. This would then cause rain to spur even over the most droughted areas, even over lands spreaded out with great droughts. If you don't know what a drought is, well then maybe you shouldn't be watching this video, but it's okay if you are. A drought is just when land is dry. Hope I didn't say that too weird, but yeah, I was just kind of confused. When land is like dry and stuff like that. Anyhow, with that being said, Naruto would then smirk. I think it's gone. All the evil, or at least it's dissipating. Every evil person is collapsing. I can see them one by one. The Kyuubi would growl. That man on the floor there. You did it, Naruto. You killed the man who forced me into submission on that day. That day. You're referring to when I was born? Of course, Naruto. You should know that by now. Yeah. I see. Well, I'm glad to have helped you, Kyuubi. Sorry for any background noise. But with that being said, are you sure he's dead? Yeah, but you did not kill all of the Uchiha. Huh? What do you mean, QB? What is this stupid fox talking about? Because remember, they're in Naruto's mind, so is the QB and the Susano, so... Calm down, Uchiha brat. Now who are you, golden armor, I don't know, Prince Charming? I'm known as a Susano, but you can just call me Kabuto or Luck. And don't give me that attitude. Or what? What are you gonna do? Not like you can attack me in the real world. Sasuke, you need to calm down. No. Fine. Get out of my mind then. Naruto would slap Sasuke away, as the Susanoo would form on its own. You said I can't maintain physical form. Well, how about you ask me what this is? The Susanoo would punch Sasuke up into the air, itself, as he would then do a flip, kicking Sasuke into the ground, but before he could land, he would punch him back up, repeating this about 30 dozen times. So, which, like I just said, basically means 360 times, which is a lot. This would cause Sasuke to not even know what was happening. He was being damaged too much. He was losing vision, losing blood, losing focus. His Sharingan would activate. He would try to grab a footing, but the Susanoo was too quick. Do you think your mere Sharingan eyes of the 3 Tomoe can stop me? You'd need at least a Mangekyo to even keep up, or a more high advanced version of your 3 Tomoe. Now, Asgard's destroyer, Light Shinigami, past sacrifice. What the hell? Behind you, Sasuke. What? What the hell is that? Again, remember when you said I had no physical form? I couldn't hurt you in the physical realm. Didn't you say something like that? Well, this is just a clone of me. My actual full body, with armor and all, is right behind you. The clone would then merge back with the Susanoo, as the Susanoo would feel more power come back to it. I must say that 5% really took some out of me, don't you think? Yeah. 5%. I think it might have been 2 Susanoo. Now Kabuto, or Luck, stop playing around with him. He wants you to go full power, I think. Don't you, Sasuke? You were making fun of him just a minute ago. You're right. I want him to go full power. I want him to not hold back a nudge. Fine, then. Don't be surprised when you go and die. Now, Divine Destroyer, Susanoo's wrath. Those who laugh at the Susanoo die. Naruto's surprised at what he just said. Does that mean he's gonna kill Sasuke? He would clutch his necklace that he wore around his neck, a gift from a Kage, you could say. That being Tsunade, of course. What is happening? Naruto thought to himself. What is he gonna do? The Susanoo would then bring down his hand, as Sasuke would then fall to the ground. His body would be in a pool of blood as the Susanoo would look down on him. May heaven treat you well, Uchiha. The Susanoo would then creep back into Naruto's body, as Naruto would be surprised. What the? No way. Naruto would then do everything in his power to heal Sasuke, or at least keep him fully healed until a medic could come. He was losing blood, and Naruto could do nothing about that. A medic would come as they would take Sasuke away, asking what in God's name could do something like this. As Naruto would say, Sasuke disrespected an ancient god, or something you could refer to as a Susano, Maikeke Genkai, and by extension, it had hurt him. He said that it couldn't hurt him in physical... Never mind. Weren't you telling me the logistics anymore? Well, you'll just see me as a monster. It's Maikeke Genkai. So, I did it, that's all. That's all you need to know, okay? A high-level ninja known as Naruto Uzumaki did it. Alright? Alright. I'll take this boy in immediately when I get to the hospital. Thank you. Now, have a good day, ma'am. Yes, sir. The people who were evil were all killed. That also includes people who fight for things that are evil. So that includes Pain, whose ideologies in his mind are good, but they are actually an evil thing to do. It's a bit of a moderate situation, forcing people into submission through fear so that nobody can feel pain. It's hard to explain. You know, Pain's one of those convoluted characters who you could never explain. Actually, I have a video coming up on the 6 passive pains on this channel, so yeah, look out for that. With that being said, I shall continue. So, I was kind of thinking, Naruto thought to himself as he would talk to Kabuto/Luck, the Susano, and the Kyuubi. I was kind of thinking, could you guys help me with something? Help you with what? There's one Uchiha, like you said before. Am I wrong to assume that Uchiha is not Itachi? No, you're not wrong to assume. It's that Itachi guy. Okay. Can you take me there ASAP? Naruto would appear in front of Itachi. Itachi would gasp. He never usually gasped, but he was in such an area where he didn't feel held back, and in Naruto's presence he actually felt as if the gods were smiling upon him themselves. With that being said, Naruto would speak. Itachi, your brother will fight you a week from now. Train up, do whatever you have to do, but it will happen. He's currently in the hospital bedridden, but I can heal him as soon as his blood is fully good, you could say. But you two will have a showdown. Us a fight? Well, it won't be a fair fight if you were curious. You look like the type of guy who would want a fair fight between brothers. What do you mean? Do you not see my state? I am ill. What do you mean? Look at this. Itachi would then pull open his cloak as it would reveal many types of medicine. Naruto would gasp, immediately putting his hands over Itachi, which would create a soothing effect for Itachi, which really felt like weight was being lifted off of his shoulders. This was Naruto actually curing his illness, which Itachi would realize. So thankful to Naruto, even on his knees for a mere moment, even if it was only for a moment. With that being said, Naruto would tell Itachi the situation, as Itachi would understand. I see, Itachi would say. Well, you're quite the hero, I should say. Not to mention that nobody will be plotting in the background because Zetsu's already gone. He is evil, is he not? With that being said, we would then see, a week from now, Sasuke and Itachi fight. The logistics are that Itachi was holding back, and Itachi would still live, though. Merely, when he pats Sasuke on the head with his 2 fingers, he's not implanting anything. He's just doing it reminiscent of old times' sake, and he passes out rather than dies there because he no longer has his illness. With that being said, there's a number of ways where I can give this a happy ending, but we're just going to say, for the sake of the story, a Naru-Hina relationship. I'm not going to go Naru-Saru, if you know what I mean. Or Narusaku, my bad, is what I meant, because Naruto hugs Sakura. But, yeah, I might later on in the video, later on in an episode, I mean, or a different what if or something, I don't know, it really just depends, I guess. But with that being said, Sasuke would actually marry Sakura still, to repay her for all the, I guess you could say harm he had done to her. And with that being said, yeah, Itachi would also find love, but it wouldn't be with somebody who he truly knew, but somebody rather that he met after Naruto had saved him, you could say, and after his fight with Sasuke, who he would have 2 children with, both twins. Or I guess you could just say twins in general, because it's not both twins, but yeah, you guys get what I mean. Same thing with Naruto, he would have 2 children, not twins, but yeah. And Sasuke would only have one, which is Sarada. We know those two children as Boruto and Himawari for Naruto. And Itachi's kids would be named Rin and Hinata. A play on Hinata's name, as Naruto had helped him, so he kind of wanted to repay it. And also because, well, it was a pretty good name. With that being said, I think this is where I'm going to end it. No evil forces will come to Naruto unless they're the Otsutsukis, like Momoshiki and Kinshiki, who I think Naruto in this timeline can easily deal with. Naruto becomes Hokage, while the stand-in Hokage is not Kakashi this time, as Kakashi really wants to put down that hat that he's wearing. You know, that Hokage hat, he wants to chill, right? This is Kakashi we're talking about. So he gladly gives the position to Itachi, which also fully clears the Uchiha's name. With that being said, Itachi, using his wiseness and his knowledge, would actually train Naruto to be the greatest Hokage in history. Not necessarily train, but would teach him the ins and outs. Or ins and outs as he saw it. He would also teach him about the ninja world. How being Hokage means that you should not spare anybody. They are all a danger to your village, especially in combat and when fighting for it. If a war ever happens, you need to be on your feet. You can't spare people, you must protect everybody. Every village life matters. It will destroy the least reputation if even a soul gets hurt. You see, even if one person dies, that person has family members. People care about them. People expect to see them home at the end of the night. So, I expect you to care just as much for them. Or for them, so to speak. These are the types of things that Itachi would drill into Naruto's head, as Naruto would fully understand what it meant to be Hokage. He loved the job, quite literally, but he would be there for his son. His son, Boruto, would never be a spoiled brat, rather a highly skilled prodigy, who acts spoiled at times, but it was only to release his pent-up rage and his pent-up lust for fighting, you could even say. And with that being said, Naruto would be fully there because he's actually just creating shadow clones, which he actually should have done in Boruto, but we're not going to be talking about that in this video. But with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this end. I hope it was a good end. I think I don't really see that many what-ifs, or I haven't even seen that many what-ifs where Itachi actually, A, lives, and B, has children. So, yeah, his two children, Rin and Hinata. Naruto's two children, Himawari and Boruto, and Sasuke's child, Sarada, they're all pretty good friends, so yeah, that's cool. And the Uchiha clan is actually starting to flourish and get back to its original size. Well, I shouldn't say original size, it's not even close, but it's, you know, getting around, I guess you could say. It's starting, I should say. Anyhow, I hope this was a good end for all of you guys watching, though, as this was a pretty good end for me, tying it back to Shinto religion, and maybe you'll understand what I mean now.
That was What If Naruto had the Susano, the movie. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and if you actually made it this far to the end, pat yourself on the back. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the support. I'm thankful for every one of you, and even if you don't think so, I love you a lot. Don't make that weird, though. I just mean that in a way that I appreciate your support in every way, whether it's a view or a like or a subscription or a donation to a channel or a super thanks or whatever it may be. Your support is appreciated, and each and every one of you is in my heart. Not literally, but I feel like I have to clarify a lot of things here with this little speech of, I guess you could call it love I'm giving. I know that the channel is probably by the end of the year, going to well, not by the end of the year, but by like maybe like October. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna nail that one. Maybe it's gonna be way sooner, but it's gonna hit 30,000 subscribers, and I was just thinking about, like, you know, obviously where I came from as like a what if YouTuber in the past, and just like starting the channel. You go back and look at those videos from like 2-3 years ago, you'll see that you can just tell that I'm a way different person, and like you can see how like my storytelling has evolved through quite literally the years, as weird as that is to say. So yeah, thank you guys. I love you all. Thank you for the continued support. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe and share the video to a friend who likes videos or his anime content in general. With that being said, this has been 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙏𝙃. Out.